This and this are typically not associated with this. Toyota seems obsessed about realigning Camry's image, so the world now has the TRD model. In addition to a bunch of functional aero add-ons, the lightweight 19-inch wheels wear the right kind of rubber, the chassis gets thicker underbody bracing, stiffer springs and sway bars, plus specific TRD dampers, bigger discs up front with dual pistons too. So it's not just a cosmetics job, though really, this should have its own Facebook page.
For some reason, this car is getting a lot of attention. Maybe it's the wing, but people can't believe this is a Camry. And I don't quite understand that, because the whole idea of adding performance to a family vehicle is nothing new. Think back to the 60s, the Pontiac GTO, the Oldsmobile 442. Nice to see something for enthusiasts here, especially a sedan. Those are going away, just like Pontiac and Oldsmobile.
Before I tackle the TRD, let's rewind to the launch of the current generation in 2017. I crashed a dealer education session put on by Kitch Jr., a 24 Hours of Daytona winner and chief instructor at Proformance Racing School.
We all have racing gremlins circulating in our bloodstream.
Toyota wanted to prove to dealers that the new Camry was more than a sedate sedan. So I buckled into a V6 XSE with Don, and we had our way around Pacific Raceways.
I can see it now.
What a cliche.
Kitch dies at Pacific Raceways under the hands of Tom Voelk.
Well, you got in the car,
the
you
car
knew.
guy.
Compared to the dated outgoing Camry, the improvement was easy to feel.
Rear, left, right.
Whoa!
You see that?
Very nice.
Wow. You like it?
I have to say I do.
Yep. I mean, I got to tell you, this winter in the pouring down rain on some highway off ramp, and you get it all wrong, that thing just says, we're okay here. We're going to be okay.
The point here? The XSE was respectable when hammered hard, even without the TRD chassis improvements.
Look at you.
Don is a very good driver, and I'll accept his overly generous praise.
Now, it may have a little to do with the car, but
I think
you're
it's the driver.
You're getting good.
Pacific Raceways is closed because of the pandemic, so I can't duplicate the event. TRD runs with the same engine I drove with Don, a 3.5-liter V6 with 301 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque. There are sporty gauges and graphics, the gearbox remains the same, an 8-speed automatic. Nope, no manual option, but there's extra snarl from the TRD catback exhaust.
No extra power here, so the 0 to 60 time is going to be the same as any V6 Camry. That would be just under 6 seconds, although there are red seat belts. The V6 is silky smooth. Wish I could think of an adjective better than silky. It's overused, but this is a gem of an engine.
Joke all you want about Grandma's Camry, the TRD's lower ride height by 0.6 of an inch and substantial anti-roll bars makes a noticeable difference.
With no extra horsepower, this car is essentially about handling, and the Toyota engineers did a great job. It corners extremely flat, very little bob and dive. Nicely done.
That said, there's not much road feel coming through the steering wheel. That remains standard Camry grade, same with the steering ratio. And while the red gauges look full-on TRD, I find them hard to read. Nothing beats black and white for quick reference.
Yeah, the suspension is more firm and the low-profile tires let sharp bumps in, but overall, this could be a daily driver, something both you and your spouse could agree on, unless they want a crossover.
This is one Camry that gets noticed on the road, so maybe nix the supersonic red paint. White, silver, and black won't draw eyeballs. They'll all get the black roof treatment and the wing.
Everybody forgets how important brakes can be, and these are improved. Great pedal modulation, good feel. These are terrific brakes.
For the best in Camry fuel economy, there's always the hybrid. The EPA average for the TRD is an mpg lower than the V6-equipped XSE. It's 25 miles per gallon. I'm averaging around 24.
When it comes to sound, there's a little extra road noise from the tires and some growl from the V6, but not tons and tons. Throwing around technical terms there.
Not much wind noise, though.
The transmission is nice and smooth, though. There's nothing sporty about it. Even in manual mode, shifts are certainly not dual clutch quick, and there are no rev matching down blips. Pretty much feels like a regular Camry transmission.
Like the interior? Well, however you feel, it's this or nothing with the TRD. Crimson is the theme, and it sets the right vibe. There are some nice touches here, quality elements too. There are also some austere areas with a lot of black plastic. It will be interesting to see how Hyundai Sonata N-Line and Kia K5 GT treat this space. The interface, on 2020 models at least, is straightforward and easy to navigate, not exactly sophisticated when it comes to design. The graphics are rudimentary. Apple CarPlay is standard.
And if you have an Android phone, Android Auto is in here. Toyota is finally integrating it into its vehicles.
The seats, with moderate bolstering, have grippy, breathable cloth panels set in synthetic leather. They are not heated. The driver's is powered, the passenger's is not, but they do get the red belts.
So what's your take on the sporty Camry? I don't really care, just so long as your driving doesn't make me car sick. And it usually does. I'm all about the back seat. And sporty or not, Camry has a pretty generous one. Head, knee, foot, and legroom, all very, very good. If you're always bringing car seats in and out, this opening makes that easy. And the cushions are high enough so that thigh support is really pretty good. I will gripe that there are no power ports back here in a family vehicle, but saving grace, there are two pockets. The kids can stash things away. This center spine is a little bit on the big side, but tolerable. And I keep thinking that there's a center console that will pull out from here, but no go, so there's really no place to put your coffee. But otherwise, 3 adults really should be perfectly fine back here.
Camry can take on quite a bit of kit in the back. The TRD's seatbacks are locked in place for an extra smidge of body rigidity. I'm using file video for the TP trunk test so I don't get stared at while wheeling out a pallet of TP, which these days can get a little weird. There's no problem stuffing 6 packs of my measurement metric in here. The good news about the TRD model is that it's affordable. At around $32,200 with destination, it's $3,400 less than a V6 XLE, even with all the chassis, brakes, and aero enhancements. It's also the least expensive way to get the V6. Plus, it's easy to order. The only real choice is color, which might be a problem if you want heated seats or a better stock sound system. This one is average. So let's get to red light, green light. Green light. The chassis enhancements give this Camry excellent driving dynamics. Really, it's fun to carve up corners in this. It's a good deal at $32,000, especially with the extra stuff Toyota puts in it. And the wing. People love it. Talk about a great conversation starter. Dude, your Camry has a wing. Yellow lights. The exhaust and summer tires add some decibels to the cabin. All-season rubber is a no-cost option. The roomy back seat has few amenities, and there's no extra power or sport coming from the powertrain and steering. Red light. Want some creature comforts like heated seats? No can do, and red's the only cabin color. The seat backs are fixed into place, so hauling long things isn't going to happen, and the wing will attract unwanted attention from law enforcement. I'll point out that if you want a Camry TRD, Toyota is making 6,000 of them. So don't delay.
I can see the wing in the side view mirror. That's just another reason to buy the car.
Toyota's Camry has a great reputation for reliability and practicality. Responsible people should be able to have a good time every once in a while. The TRD does a good job of bringing fun to an ordinary world. If you want supersonic red paint, hurry. 2021 Camry TRDs won't get it as a color choice, and it's one of the reasons why people took notice of this car. And I was all set to get great drone shots, but every once in a while things go horribly wrong. This was one of those times. Bad drone mojo. It happens.
Audio check.
Audio check, audio check.
Checking audio.
A quick note about the awesome Don Kitch Jr.
It's amazing what you can get away with. You know, the old rule of thumb with a front-wheel drive car is you can do anything you want with the steering wheel as long as you're not doing anything with the gas pedal.
Right, yeah.
Boy, with this thing here, you can turn it in and come to throttle right now, and it says, okay, we can do this.
I met him years ago while doing a story about Team Seattle, a racing team that competes at the 24 Hours of Daytona. To this day, it remains one of the most challenging and rewarding stories I've ever shot and written. I'll link to that story at the end of this video. And if you're in the Northwest, I highly recommend Proformance Racing School. I'll throw a link into the video description.
Before I go, let's talk performance and Toyota. Now, there are some people who feel those don't belong in the same sentence, but if you stop and think about it, over the last 5 years, the company has really improved its driving dynamics, something that hasn't gone unnoticed by me. And however you feel about them teaming up with BMW, there is a new Supra. Always good to have a new sports car in the world. Plus, rumor has it there's a hot version of the Corolla coming to America. My money is on the hatchback version. It would compete with the GTI. As far as the GR Yaris, that's probably not going to come to the United States because, for one thing, it's too small for Americans. And second of all, that version of the Yaris is not sold in America. What we get is a rebadged Mazda, so not going to happen. A reminder, subscribe to this channel, click notifications. Why? Because if you haven't noticed, I tell you what you need to know and then I get out. I don't waste your time, okay? You can go watch another video now. Maybe Doug DeMuro, whatever. That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.